What's going on, guys? So I've had this Lucky Bamboo for around 2 years now. And I mean, there's a lot of factors. I live in Illinois and the winters are pretty harsh. There's not a lot of light. But at the beginning of the summer, I noticed that the leaves were turning very, very white and yellow. Now, this Lucky Bamboo had been in water, in a little cup of water for all its life, actually. And I mean, I did some research to try to fix it, and a lot of problems are that in water it isn't getting enough nutrients. So I changed it to soil because everyone was telling me you change it to soil and your life should, the life of your plant should get back, and it did work. There's a lot new growth. These leaves are starting to pop up. There's new leaves growing right here. I mean, it was just, I mean, it wasn't instantaneous, but right there, the plant is regaining color. If you can see, these little veins right here starting to pop up after like a week or so in the soil, which is really nice. But again, the information out there switching to soil is so vague. It just says switch to soil in your plant. There's so many things that they don't explain. They don't explain how to take care of your plant. So I'm going to be showing you guys everything that I've learned. So let's talk about storage first off. One really big mistake that I did when I switched this plant to soil from water was that I kept it in the cup with no drainage hole. I'll show you guys a picture right now. I'll pop it up. Anyway, what was wrong with that is that maybe a week after, I mean, we'll talk about watering in a little bit, but I would just fill it up with water, and the soil does a really good job at keeping in moisture, and it had nowhere for that extra moisture to go, and the soil's obviously is dirty, and fungus started growing. So I mean, I switched that out immediately, and I bought a vase with a drainage hole. I mean, you could get these anywhere. So again, I dumped out all the old soil, put in new ones, and the fungus problem basically went away. I mean, it never. But another problem I was having was every time I don't know why, I would keep, because I just replanted a new, I just put in a new pot. I didn't want it to be tilting, so I kept pushing down the soil. Now what happened with that was that, again, that moisture had nowhere to go, and fungus started growing on the soil again. So the trick to watering your soil, and I mean, this is an indoor plant and it's going to be inside. There's no real sunlight or airflow, so the soil will get moldy if you do not keep it loose like this. So what I like to do is every time I water it, maybe a few days after, when you can really tell the soil has settled, just go like this. Pop a few holes up, don't go too shallow. You don't want to be poking any roots. But just go like that, and make sure. It's a little messy sometimes. There could be like soil that flies out. But just make sure that the soil is fluffy, because you do not want fungus to grow. The moisture, if you put your finger down, by the time it hits your fingernail, it isn't moist, then it's time for you to water. But the soil does a really good job at keeping moisture down there. So as long as you keep the topsoil fluffy, it should be good. Now let's talk about the most important thing that nobody talked about. How do you water this? Watering in a cup with just water is every time you see the water level go down, you water it. In soil, it's a little bit more tricky than that. Now, it all depends on the size of your bamboo. Mine is not a huge bamboo, but it's definitely not small. The roots are really small, though. So, it looks huge, but in reality, it's very, very small and shallow roots. So, you're obviously you don't need a huge pot. Yeah, they actually don't like a huge pot. You get a little pot like this, and what I like to do is every single week. I mean, you could be obviously a few days late, but after 7 days, I water it. Make sure to poke my finger in there, like my fingernail. If it's kind of dry there, it should be dry by the week. If you're keeping it in like a shallow sunlight, I like to keep my these curtains closed. But the actual blinds like open. This is good sunlight, and I just water it with a little dropper, a little ear dropper, because if you dump all the water in, it just makes this giant hole. every week or so. And it all depends again on how much. I mean, so many factors, but I like to water with half a cup of water, or like around 100 milliliters of water. I don't know which one you'd use, but I just like to fill it up with a little eardropper. Oh, this one's already filled, but I just like to squeeze it, fill it up like this, let it grab the water in, and just sprinkle it on the top of the soil. Let it I like to focus the area right here because the water just goes straight down. If the water does fill up and it comes out through the drainage hole, make sure to dump whatever water's in the drainage hole because the soil will just suck that water right back up. So if you do get extra water coming out through here, dump it immediately. Anyway, guys, I mean, this works. After a couple weeks, my bamboo, I mean, just started turning just so green. You can tell right here. It's obviously still yellow and white over there, but it is turning yellow from the tips. I mean, it's great. It's great. There's a bunch of new roots, and I am sure the roots are growing fine. So anyway, guys, I hope this video helped you guys out. I'm not an expert at this, but this is what I've been doing, and it's been working. There's not a lot of videos out there right now about how to really maintain your bamboo in soil. All the information out there is just vague, but yeah. So it will give your bamboo. Obviously, it's not gonna. You can keep these things in water for years, but if you really want these things to last, switch them to soil and just keep doing what I've been doing. I mean, regularly, and you should be. They're not hard to maintain. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please post any tips, anything that I did wrong in the comments below. Don't worry, I won't take it to heart. I'm just doing what works for me. Anyway, guys, in a month, you should see your plant getting healthier, and it should really thrive. I hope you guys enjoy this video. As always, I'll see you guys later.